bravefathers.com.
Welcome to the Brave Fathers Show. And now, the prophecy.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we have a special episode. Assuming my candle decides to light up, because without this candle, the show cannot go on. This is John Paul from bravefathers.com. And today we are going to talk about how fathers can win in family courts. We all know how hard it is. I've been there, you've been there. That candle is going crazy. And so today I have a special guest. His name is Jason. You may know him from Mackenzie Friend Near Me, also known as Apple What's It, and also known as the boss, the head, the founder of the Alienated Dads Network. Now watch for this candle. If it burns down the set, let me know. Oh, Jesus Christ. What's going on here? Not my favorite candle. Oh, and now I killed my puppy dog with the wax. Crazy. All right, so I'm going to bring Jason on stage. We can have a show before I burn down the whole place.
So is that right? It's not going to
How
catch
you
fire,
doing,
is it?
Jason?
It's got your little puppy. Is that your little puppy on? Is that going to catch fire? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's suffering because it's got wax on it. You know, like when this reminds me when I was in school, in secondary school, and I was called to the board to answer a question, and I don't think I knew the answer. And, I used to be a bit silly back then as well. So I was being disruptive, and so they called me to the front.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to write something on the board, which I couldn't figure out. So everybody was laughing. So then finally they stopped me, and then I decided to wipe my hand, from the chalk on my uniform, and like I had big marks, and everybody was laughing even more. I was like, the whole thing is crazy. So it's the same thing with that. I was trying to pour the wax, to stop the thing from burning, and I got my little puppy, but that's all right. At least it's a good sign. Everything that happens is a good omen. So Jason, tell us a bit about yourself, because I have the utmost respect for you. Anytime I bring a guest, I always get the best people. I had the best guy in the United States, very similar to what you do, is Father X. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. His is a crazy story because he got if I remember correctly, he got almost stabbed by his ex and fought a long battle and won full custody in the United States of America. So he's similar to what we do, just that in the States, helping fathers represent themselves and all that. But in the UK, as far as I can tell, you are the best. I'm good at certain things, figuring it out, the narrative, the strategies. But when it comes to really understanding the core mechanics, I've not had one barrister, I've not had one judge, I've not had one solicitor in the United Kingdom go as deep as you do. So I'm very grateful and privileged to have you here. We all are. Thank you. So tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself so people can get familiar with how you vibe.
I'm actually, that's a really nice thing you said. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you a lot for saying that. I just didn't expect that at all. So basically I've gone through the whole, I've gone through it all with my ex-wife back in 2013. Messy, shouldn't, sort of, I've said about it before. It wasn't good. It never is good. I made loads of mistakes. So I made loads of mistakes going through family court. I didn't have any family with me. I didn't have any mum, dad, or anything like that with me to support me. So I was just literally by myself going through it all. And I'd hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom. I was drinking too much. But then I was drinking too much in my marriage as well, to be honest with you. I take responsibility. I take responsibility for where I went wrong in my marriage, if that makes sense as well. A lot of people when they go through this, when I did for a number of years. I blamed her for everything. But then I now look at things and I look at things and I now look at things and I see I could have done things differently. I see things that I regret. me and her argued. We argued a lot, yeah. Verbally. I shouted at her in front of my daughter. I should never have shouted at her in front of my daughter. Do you know what I mean? I've had to apologize to my daughter because of that. That doesn't make it acceptable or okay. It doesn't make it nothing. I'm not proud of it at all. But I can reflect on what I've done and where I've been, and I can help other people. And that's the thing. I won't judge people because of that, and very much because of that. I'm not in any position to judge anybody. Does that make sense? So when
I see what you're saying.
So when I'm helping people, they're really worried that I'm going to judge them or anything. And I try my hardest not to judge anybody ever about anything, because no one's walked in my shoes, no one's walked in your shoes, no one's and when we make decisions about things, we believe at the time that we're making the best decisions for us, because we're all just here, you, me, we're just here surviving. Everyone's just surviving the best way we can, and it's not easy. It's not easy.
That's true. That's true. And thank you for sharing that, because, a lot of people don't realize how many fathers go through those things. And we'll touch on your admissions in a moment, because that's a very important part of the process, I believe. And one of the reasons why I pay attention very closely to what you do. But I want to ask you the first question. So, similar to you, right? I also went through the process a bit, after a couple of years after you started yours. But what was interesting was, when I was in court, I had a lawyer. So because of how things went down, I was eligible for legal aid at the time, which I got.
Okay.
Which is an important point, and I'll mention why. But I got rid of the lawyer at some point, because I realized she was, if I'm to be honest, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but for the sake of posterity, because I think our conversations, future generations will use this as an archive, for the future, to know what happened during our time, and for our children too. And the truth is, I felt she was sabotaging my case. An example being making pencil notes about admissions I've not made, and then adding it into the bundles. I'm like, why is this in the bundles? Do you know what I mean? Like, first of all, it's your notes. Second, it's not part of the, what's been ordered or what we're supposed to do. So that's just one example. But later, as I understood the process, I realized that she actually was sabotaging, like losing police reports and stuff like that, not filling forms. And I'll tell you why I'm mentioning this, because all this is important. And but the other thing that I want to say is, so at one of the hearings, because as you know, you go through many hearings, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of her. She was already doing the bundles. I was like, okay, finish the bundles. But I said, swap the position statement you wrote for the one I wrote, because I've been writing for a long time.
You were more comfortable.
I figured out how to write.
Yeah.
So I said, swap that, listen, and then I said, thank you very much. I'll go into the courtroom myself. She was like, what? They were like making calls from the firm. I was like, thank you. I will not need your services anymore. I'll just go in myself.
Epic.
But what's interesting is, when I went to the hearing, I mentioned that I wanted ultimately a shared care or shared live with, as it's appropriately called, order.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the whole courtroom laughed. They literally laughed. And there was another story I read online. Another guy had the same experience. They laughed. So a couple of years later, fighting in court, as you know, ultimately I won the shared live with, but I had to go all the way to the appeal courts to win that. And as I was fighting for the appeal, so here's what's interesting. I thought, okay, the lawyer is sabotaging me, and so on and so forth. But then I'm not going to mention names, but I started going to the fathers' organizations in the country. And I was told, as a man, you cannot get legal aid.
Yeah.
I was like, I got legal aid.
Yeah.
Right? So I know I could get it. And I actually confirmed that if I'm in the financial position where I can't afford court based on my previous criteria, because they extended the period, it used to be 5 years, I'm still eligible. Yeah. So that's one of the things that hit me. But when I said I was going to appeal, I thought I was going to get support, but everybody was angry with me, including the fathers' organization, the people who volunteer and work within the organizations.
Okay.
So I was very surprised by that. And then when I won the appeal, just a couple of people, they came to me, they were like, can you help us to, that's how I started getting into this kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people started treating me like a traitor within the fathers organizations. That's just my experience. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying my experience.
Yeah.
So it really hit me hard, because I said to myself, I thought I was bringing the gospel. I know I'm bringing a prophecy to everybody. I'm bringing the truth. I thought, do you know what I mean? I thought they were going to be like, how did you do it? Come to my meeting, come to this branch, come to share with I thought they were going to be like all over it. I had the books, I have case, so like, I print them out, I read them all the time. I'm sure I've got the red book. I thought I'd crack the code. Everybody, no. So I was like, so not only my lawyer seems to be against my case, the very people who I thought were for the
on your side,
they were completely like, yeah, but what, acting like I was literally betraying.
Wow.
The people.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. And I'm just setting the foundation, because I know I'm saying a lot, but
that's good. That's good.
So I thought, okay, I'm bringing the Holy Grail, right? So I started getting fathers coming to me. But where I always had a problem was the part where you have to accept. I'm not saying go to court and say I did this or that and that and that, because let's be honest, you can't be honest in court all the time. That's the honest truth, right? Because not everything is relevant and some things will be twisted. So I'm not saying go and lie.
Everything's your truth, isn't it? It's in it's from your eyes. So from yours, it's your truth. It's your truth.
Yeah, yes, but to yourself, not to the judge, not to me, not to anybody else. You and your God, you have to be honest, 100%, like brutally honest. You don't have to tell anybody what you said to yourself. But I believe strongly that if you can't be honest with yourself, you find it 10 times harder in court, because you're using double energy. One to lie to yourself, and the other one to deceive the court. And where it all connects for me, the behaviors I got from people, is that I think, if we are to be honest, and I know this is a rough start, this is not what people want to hear, but again, we are here to find the truth. I think a lot of people pretend they want fathers to win, and I'm going to go out and say and piss off a lot of people, and perhaps turn some people off from wanting to work with me. But frankly, I think some fathers don't want to win. And the reason I'm saying that is, and again, you might understand this better than I do, but I'm jumping straight into the deep end.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking there's a cultural thing going on, where if we are to be honest with ourselves, in our society, families, when I say family, the nuclear heterosexual family, is not really valued.
No,
we've lost the reason why it's important.
Yeah.
And with it, we realized, do you know what? Why don't we just get rid of the father? Yeah. Because all we really need from him is his money. You understand what I'm saying? Let him play with the kid for a couple of hours. And because people say it's the courts, but based on my experience and how people behave, I am tempted to think that it's a cultural thing. What do you think?
It's deep straight off, isn't it? So I think there's businesses out there. I think there's so many businesses out there now, because of the way the world's turned. Everywhere I'm looking, there's a new people turning up, doing something new, competing to try and help people, which I think is a good thing. But I think there's people out there that are giving out that don't. Well, I think people are paid. They want people to get it wrong. You're right. There's a certain aspect what you're saying is correct. I think Fathers for Justice, for one. I think I know that. In fact, I'm quite confident they don't want their people to win all the time. If that makes sense. I've lost him. He's gone. He's back. But they don't think they want.
I'm here. I
don't think they want people to win. I don't think they want people to win all the time, because the negative headlines, and this is just my personal experience. The negative headlines, they thrive on the negative headlines, because that's what gives them headlines, and that's what gives them something to moan about. But then at the same time, what makes me laugh even more is the men working together and men competing with each other it's our own egos. Our own egos
the line
getting in
is
the way.
breaking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. I can hear you.
Oh.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Okay, because it was breaking.
Yep.
This side a bit.
Yeah, I can. Yep.
Okay, go. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying. I think it's our egos get in the
hear
way
you.
of. You can't hear me, no? Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm not sure what's happening. For some reason, it's breaking. Oh my. Let me.